Hassan Reddick.
Great Kool-Aid.
We were just talking about kids.
Yeah,
Crazy.
because he is wanting out.
I don't think this episode, but I'm stoked.
We're going to leap through this. Knowledge.
Somebody's getting drug tested. Hey, welcome into Thy Kingdom Come, we're a podcast where we talk all things Chiefs and NFL. I'm Justin. That's Deontay.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, we had preseason week 2, and our data analyst guy behind the camera, Josiah, is up and ready. You feeling good, man?
Always
feeling good.
Yeah.
Always.
Man, I need to
It's
live
like
on.
being young.
I need. Oh dang, dude. I feel like that's a shot.
Oh,
That's
man.
a shot.
Only at you, not
Only
for
at me.
Deontay.
You know he's older than me, right?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
I know. I
No
don't
one
care.
didn't know that.
Oh, my bad. I mean, he's not older than me. Yeah, white cracks a lot. Okay. So let's go. We're going to just kind of jump right into it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about injuries. We're going to address the elephant in the room that I did not see last week. JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
He's out for the season
Yeah.
with the torn. Is it MCL or meniscus? I'm sorry. He has the torn meniscus. He will
in
need
the knee.
need surgery on it. So. Yeah, that's quite the bummer for the the Vikings.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kirk Cousins is available.
Hey, it may be after what they did, draft another quarterback.
I'm telling you.
In the first round.
They did sign a journeyman, Matt Corral, Matt Corral, who did win 3 starts for the UFL, so that's cool. The Browns have 23 players on their injury report.
That's crazy.
And they're not the only ones with 20. Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams didn't play in Saturday's preseason game for the Raiders. Just little tweaks, nothing serious. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill didn't practice Tuesday for the Dolphins, who also have over 20 players on their injury report.
Crazy.
That's insane.
They're just
How unhealthy are you living?
They're just doing it so no team can, truly prepare for them week 1, right? No.
Yeah, that's got to be it, right? Saints' second-round pick, Kool-Aid McKinstry, did avoid a severe knee injury Sunday.
I watched that game too when he limped out.
But they're gonna play precautiously, kind of like we did with Xavier Worthy, and they're gonna just kind of keep him healthy for get him ready for week 1. They do think he'll be ready for week 1, so that's cool. I'm really interested to see that kid play, man.
Yep.
He's electric.
Yeah, I can't wait
Hassan
to see
Reddick.
some great Kool-Aid.
You want grape Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
You mean purple?
Yeah.
Okay. This dude. Hassan Reddick still has not practiced. Head coach Robert Saleh said that a guy like Hassan adds another closer to the mix, and he did say, we already have 4 or 5 closers, so he will be our 6th when he comes in, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because he is wanting out at the moment.
Yeah.
He's like, get me out of there.
Well, and I feel like Robert Saleh just kind of knocked him down a peg, saying he's our 6th guy.
Oh, yeah.
You don't bring Hassan Reddick in to be 6th guy.
Right.
So
not after kind of the last few seasons he's had over in Philadelphia. So.
Yeah. He's
not cheap either.
No, he's not cheap, which is crazy. There's a little ant on the table. That's crazy. See that giant thing? I said little ant. That thing is huge.
It's our buddy, dude. Leave him alone.
Well, he's still crawling around back there. I didn't kill him. I just flicked him.
Some mascot.
This might get cut. So Christian McCaffrey missed the majority of camp with a calf injury. Kyle Shanahan.
McCaffrey with the calf injury.
Dude, my fantasy football name for every fantasy league I'm in is Christinger McCaff this season. So it's looking like it might be a thing again this year. But in regards to Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan did respond to reporters about him being adamant / borderline obsessive about everything, but then also missing practice, like how he feels about it. And Kyle Shanahan did say that's what's good when you're obsessive about anything. He kind of said a few filler things, and he said when you do get in these situations where you get hurt, you can't do all the stuff, but at least he's put in the work beforehand, so that does come back fast.
Yeah.
Which I agree with, man. Christian McCaffrey is a workhorse, and I do think that he'll come back. Every time he comes back from an injury, he's just as electric, if not more electric, than he was beforehand. So,
and during the preseason, when during this time, you see those players that are out. They normally are out just for precaution most times, because if it was regular season and this is probably they probably have him ready to go.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So,
well, I'm sure the personality Christian McCaffrey is, he would have wanted to be in there. So it's not like they're forcing him to do it.
Right.
He would have wanted to be there. So, let's see. That's everything for the league wide. Now let's get to the Chiefs. We all know about Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, dealing with that sternoclavicular.
Yeah.
Dislocation.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
I might have read it a few times last night to make sure I knew how to pronounce it.
Did his homework.
Make sure you give him more information. He needs it.
Yeah.
Okay.
James Winchester did go out after the first punt of the game with a shoulder injury.
Yep.
He did come back into the game, but he has been taking it light and easy during practices. And we did have Noah Gray come in and absolutely killed it on.
Yeah.
He'd never long snapped a ball before. Did a little bit of work on the sideline with Dave Tobe, and so was it Tobe who was working with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
when Travis Kelce in one of his sideline interviews, he was like, "I had never known that guy can long snap." He's like, "I've never seen him do it."
Apparently, he didn't either.
Yeah, so
he had no clue.
It was just cool to see that.
It shows the
talent roll out.
Yeah, it shows the athleticism of the guy. Like he's able to just kind of switch up positions and go. Now he did. It was kind of weird because he did come up a little limpy after one of the snaps on the sideline. But I don't know if he was like faking it. But he ran down the field and he was coming back and he was like like walking back to Matt Ariza. I'm just like, I really hope that was a joke, but he played the rest of the game. He was fine. And then let's see who else. McCade Matire. I figured out how to say the guy's name. McCade Matire still dealing with that MCL injury. Was put on IR yesterday with no extra notes. So
basically saying he's probably gonna be cut after this cut down. So.
Yeah, usually when there's no notes, it means that guy's not going to be on the team.
Yeah.
So kind of stinks for that guy. But let's see. Noting Joshua Williams didn't practice Tuesday due to a hamstring injury. Stinking hamstrings. Najee Johnson also dealing with hamstring/knee injury. Or I guess it's more the hamstring on the leg. He had the knee injury last year. Didn't practice Monday. Wanya Morris still dealing with the bone bruise on his knee, so he's taking a little light. Clyde was out with an illness on Monday, and then Chris Jones is coming back, baby. He's getting ready to go.
Stone Cold
Justin
Jones.
Reed's back now, so we're feeling good. I feel like even though there's these small nagging injuries here outside of Hollywood Brown, everybody else
Matt
looks,
Nagy.
Oh, that's man.
Huh?
I don't know how to respond to that. I mean, I said nagging injury, not Nagy injury, but now I feel like I have to say Nagy injury going forward. Right?
Nagy injury.
You only have to.
The Chiefs,
but that implies that he gave them the injury.
The Chiefs don't have nagging injuries; they have Nagy injuries.
Yes, thank you.
It's just a play on words, Josiah. Just take it.
Okay, I just want to make sure he's protected legally. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we won't copy. Like, I don't think his name is copyrighted, right?
No, I mean for him.
Oh,
I don't want him to be accused of giving all these players injuries. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, he was accused of making the Bears suck for a while. So
it's true. Well, that was case closed.
Yeah,
that's not an accusation anymore.
Oh my gosh, what are we?
No offense.
Oh my gosh. And then Charles Omenihu, B.J. Thompson, still out dealing with their medical stuff.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I've got for the injury report. If I miss anything, let us know down low, because I mean this is going to come out Wednesday night, so maybe Thursday morning. So something could happen between now and then. So give us a little bit of grace on that. But it's almost like you have to edit videos. You know, crazy.
Who does that anymore?
Who does that anymore? But yeah, that's what I got. Moving on, kind of recapping. Just give us a little bit of your thoughts of the game this past week.
Excuse me. Yeah, we played the Detroit Lions in the second preseason game. It was at home.
Jeez,
unfortunately, I know.
we're both like froggy this
Yeah,
morning.
just a
bro.
little bit, but that's all right. We're gonna
Froggy
leap.
99.
We're gonna leap through this. So we
Jeez,
played
man.
the Detroit Lions and we lost by 1.
Which we don't care about.
Yeah, I mean,
we're still defeated.
yes.
We're 0-2.
It's great diversity now. So regular
Yeah.
season, we get it all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now we understand that we do have some injury in certain areas that are kind of plaguing some things that some of those players aren't main starters aren't able to get some of those reps. They will the last preseason game. Most of the starters will not be playing, so we won't see that either. So at least they, we hope they get just freshened up, ready to go. All the naggy injuries kind of dealt with, and
It's so stupid.
and
It's so stupid.
and they'll be ready to go for week 1 because we got Baltimore. But overall, there was some good things that stood out. There was also some not so good things, like on the very first play with the bubble screen and Rasheed Rice and Justin Watson get to start because Hollywood Brown's out and he makes the block. But so beside the point, there's just some things we had to clean up, and we had to clean them up now. So one of the big things that we all know that happened was the behind the back pass.
Oh my!
And
gosh.
there's some. It's so funny because in Patrick Mahomes' interview, he's talking like that he was mad that Kelsey wasn't doing the right route, and he was kind of like,
Bro, I'm
gosh,
so
Kelsey.
suspicious about all of this.
Oh yeah, and then
What?
and then Kelsey says what he says, but then Andy Reid.
Yeah, he's got a froggy voice.
Yeah, and then Andy Reid's like, basically, this was part of the plan. You know what I mean?
Oh, Andy Reid has wanted him to do it for a while.
Yeah, they've been working on it, and I think they even talked about in the Super Bowl. There was talked about him doing it, and he was just like, I can't because on the biggest stage,
Right.
if
had
I
the
don't,
opportunity,
yeah,
but-
if I don't get this, then how would
Yeah.
that look?
If
game
you do
went
get it,
differently.
it's so
Yeah.
amazing.
Maybe.
But if you don't, it's like
Yeah, if we lose the Super Bowl, we would probably all be talking about if that play didn't go well, that would still be one of the most
Right.
talked about plays of why'd you do that and the mistake, and that's why you lost.
right.
But anyways,
Yeah,
it was kind of sweet to see. So shout out to them.
yeah.
Outside of that, I will say, it may be your highlight, but one of my highlights was, even though the guy probably won't make the team, was Corner Powell.
Yeah.
He caught a pass for
was
64 yards.
Fantastic.
Yep, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And it was a great play, great catch.
I think he's going to
Great
stay
throw.
a practice squad guy.
Yeah, so, I don't think he'll make the 53-man roster, but it was a standout catch there. Also, the catch didn't happen. And then he's also a borderline guy for me when we get into our kind of predictions for 53-man roster was the Justin Ross.
Justin, spell it the same way as me, Ross.
Yes.
Let's go.
He made a crazy effort to try to come down with the catch, just barely missed it.
If there
With the foot hitting the out of bounds as well. So
Yeah, if there wasn't as much contact on the sideline,
yeah.
Justin Ross definitely, because it was like half his foot was in bounds, but his whole foot hit the same time. If the tip of his foot hit before the back of his foot hit, it would have been a catch.
Yep.
But since it came down at the same time,
Well, and they said, and I think some of the reporters were saying that they had some issues when they were lining the field, that it was a half-inch in as well. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That
The
was
field-
diabolical.
the
The look
field
on
was-
his face.
I
field
was
was
so ready
diabolical.
for a revelation from Deontay. I was so ready. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be good. He's
Yeah.
serious. Man,
No,
am I on fire? Because I think I just got lighter fluid thrown on me.
yeah, no field problems. They were all good.
Yeah.
His foot was just a little
Crazy
bit off.
accusation.
So
Imagine, hey man, yeah, they're really trying to help the Chiefs out this season.
yeah,
Half a yard in,
yeah,
or half an inch.
Half an
you
inch.
said
yeah,
half an inch.
yeah.
said
I
half
don't
an
know.
inch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost
But,
like the guy's foot is bigger than half an inch.
Yeah, that's it. They need to fix that field. So,
Yo, hey, you just roasted our grounds crew.
Especially with all the problems we've been having around the league with Fields.
Yeah,
I know.
right.
So funny.
Hey, it's not Arizona's field or Mexico's field.
Yeah.
Dear God, those were terrible.
So we're good. We
We're
just
good.
had one preseason play bad, but that's it.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, some things there. Mahomes, he did go 8 for 14 with 93 yards, no touchdown. So, and then I was kind of hoping that once we got that turnover, that Patrick Mahomes was coming in, but it was Carson Wentz.
No,
That
they
led
made
us
their mind
for
up.
that led us for a touchdown drive.
Which is gonna roll into
what you got?
my stuff. Xavier Worthy. So first big play of the game. X-Man. First big play of the game. Patrick Mahomes down to. Realistically, Dante Hall was the X factor. Why can't we have the X-Man?
Come on.
You know?
Yeah.
Why can't Xavier Worthy be the X-Man? Anyways, so Xavier Worthy had like a 9-yard catch.
Yep.
First catch of the game.
Yep.
And then he got his first official NFL touchdown from Carson Wentz, which showed Carson Wentz still got that touch.
Yep.
That was
just a dime.
That was a dime, man. And Xavier Worthy did have to slow up just a little bit, but he really didn't have to run fast because he was so wide open.
Yeah.
that
the defensive back did, as he turned, it was far too late.
Well, if Xavier Worthy's got your feet tangled up, it's gonna be difficult for you to catch back up.
Yep.
Now there were a couple passes down the sideline where the defender did stick with him. I don't know which defender it was because it was like their second, third string guys. But there were a couple times where they kept up with him. But I just don't think Xavier Worthy was running as fast as he could.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of my highlight from the game. That's my takeaway. I do want to say, I just punched my microphone. So Dave Tobe, when asked about, this will lead into kind of the next thing, asked about special teams and like returners. There was one guy that was left off of that list of names that he mentioned, and that's Sky Moore. So it either we're going to use Sky Moore elsewhere, or potentially he doesn't make the roster. So he did say he really loved Deneric back there. He loved Hardman back there. He even loved Steele back there. So we'll see what happens with that. But how about we jump into
and in the game, preseason game, he had 2 kick returns for a total of 71 yards, with the longest being 43.
What? Who you talking about?
Sky Moore.
Oh, Sky Moore.
Yep.
In this game?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy that
I
Dave
remember he had
wouldn't
that
mention that.
Yeah, that big run.
Yeah, but he talked about it. He didn't mention that in the thing. Maybe he just thinks it's a given. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he didn't have to mention them because he's like, oh, Sky Moore's back there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's see. What do you? Let's just kind of jump into the depth chart side of things. So we're coming up on the 53-man roster. It'll be released next week. Our last preseason game is tomorrow, Thursday, right?
Today is Wednesday.
Yeah. It is Thursday, or is it Saturday?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Game's on Thursday.
Today's Wednesday.
You've been married 5 years. Yep.
Married.
Married.
Second.
Yep. Your daughter's 3.
Done.
Done.
Yep.
Yep. Got it.
So, yeah, we're coming up on that snip, the 53-man for the roster, the cut down.
Okay, got
The
it.
cut down.
We were just talking about kids.
Yeah.
Yikes.
The roster.
Roster. Got
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
So,
Best
so how
segue I've
about
ever
you
heard in
give
my
us your idea before we get canceled
Yes.
on what
Let's-
that's going to look like?
Let's do it. So we'll start with the offensive side of things.
Yeah.
And I think it's all known just because of, for the most part, we've been pretty healthy in the quarterback position. Even though they up that you can carry 3, we always kind of look to carry the 2. And I think that'll be Mahomes and Carson Wentz. And Chris
sense.
O would be looking to practice squad for me,
Which,
so,
I mean, he fits there.
Yeah, he
there.
fits. I think Ian Book is out, but that's what makes sense. You know what I mean? So, running back side, we got Pacheco. CEH now, some of the illness and different things that he's been walking through with that.
Which I think the illness is like kind of going back to still some of that PTSD stuff.
Some of the mental side of it. Yep.
So
I think he is slotted for that number 2 or the RB2 spot. And then I got Prince. I got Prince coming at that 3rd slot for that. And then, which comes into some factor later that I have with, Tobe talking about kind of have a little bit of size back there in returns. I think that's where Prince could come into play. I mean, just remember, Pacheco, his rookie year, was the kick returner.
Yeah.
He was a kick returner, and then, worked his way into the starting lineup. So I think Prince hits that number 3 spot. And then I got Carson Steele. I got us going back to the traditional fullback this year. I think he have shown some major highlights that bring him into the equation for this, which you also get to utilize him as some running back.
Right.
So, or like Tobe said, he can be used on the kick return as well.
Yep.
That bigger guy, he got some speed. The kick return brings some different dynamics as if you can just kind of, burst through that line, there's some open field there,
Yep.
So I got Steele rounding off in the fullback. And so wide receiver room, I got us carrying 7. I got Hollywood Brown. We understand his injury there.
It's obvious.
Be out a couple weeks.
And even though he's injured, he still has to be a part of that 53.
Yep, because he's not on the IR.
Right.
Then you got Rasheed Rice, and then you got Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
Which he is worthy of that position. And then at the 4th spot, you got Justin Watson.
Yep.
And I think it is set in stone for him to be that 4th spot because with Hollywood Brown out of this preseason game, Watson got the start.
Yeah.
He got the nod for the start. But it's great to also see that because that ankle injury looked bad.
It looked so bad.
And so him to be
thought
back
his
playing,
ankle was gone.
Yes.
It was just going to be shin to foot.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
No ankle.
Yeah. Glitched into the ground.
The ether.
Yeah.
The bad field.
The bad
field.
That was an
It was
inch
the- it
too
was the
small.
field.
Or
Yeah,
half an inch too small.
If that line wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to write a letter to the grounds crew. So, all righty.
On it.
And then check it out. So around the 5th spot, I have Sky Moore number 5. I got Sky Moore number 5. He's been kind of coming around, and I think
Sky
that
Moore over McCole Hardman.
at 5, yes.
Okay.
At 5, yes, because I think that Moore will get probably some more offensive snaps
Okay.
than Hardman. I think they know what they got. He can, veteran guy. He can come in there on some cases. I think special teams he'll be utilized well. And so I do think that Moore's coming around a little bit. And so I think he rounds out that number 5.
Okay.
And then I got Hardman hitting the 6.
Okay.
Hardman hitting the 6. And then I got Tony rounding off the 7.
Okay.
I know it's a tough race between Tony, Ross, and Nico. But I think Tony is going to have it. His athletic ability, I think, brings some dynamic, again, that can potentially be used in the punt return game. And he, we understand the troubles he had. But if you go back, the year we got him, we talked about it. We don't know if we win that, Super Bowl game without that return he had.
Yeah.
So I think that he does have some talent there that will draw him in to that final 7 spot.
Okay.
And I know in the preseason game he had 2 penalties, one for holding and then one for the lining up wrong. Yeah. But
No.
and I know that don't
Please.
that don't look good for him. But I do think he's going to round it off because after that play, Andy Reid brought him out, let him think about it. He came back in. There you go. Yeah. So. That's what I got. You got any, I know I know the wide receiver room is a huge controversy. What how's your wide receiver room look over there?
How about here, finish your offense first? Finish your offense. We'll get because I think actually you know what? No, I will go receivers because I think the rest of our offense is pretty much the same.
Do you agree?
I agree. I agree with the
backs?
rest of this offense.
Okay.
I agree with the quarterbacks. I agree with the running backs. I agree with the fullback. Carson Steele being like the fourth running back, a good third down back. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Having that guy that can
Short
get
yardage.
that short yardage.
Yeah.
Has good size with Deneric Prince. You throw those two in the I formation, bro. Like that's
a powerful eye.
Right. Powerful eye.
Yeah.
Do you need me to tell you that was good?
Yeah.
That was good.
Thanks, man. I was waiting for that.
Hey, that eye
Hit
is
a like
so
right
strong.
there. Subscribe.
That I formation is so strong. You might as well throw it in Lord of the Rings.
Come on, man.
I'm just.
That went over all these guys' heads. There's
Sports
nerds.
What you're saying our sports nerds aren't cultured?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Going to wide receivers, the top three I got with you, right?
Okay.
You got Brown, you got Rice, you got Worthy. Okay?
Yep.
Easy done. I think Watson's the 4. So I guess 4. Top 4. Watson's the 4. I do think him and Worthy would switch out. Like Brown and Rice are going to get the majority of the snaps. So Watson and Worthy are gonna jump in and out a lot. I think that I've got Hardman at my 5.
Okay.
I've got Hardman at my 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's too experienced to let him not get snaps on the offense, even as decoys, because if you put Hardman in motion behind the line, I mean, like how often do we run those jet sweeps? People know Hardman in jet sweeps he's probably getting the ball. He did it enough over the last 4 seasons for us.
He was with the
5
Jets.
seasons. He was. Oh my gosh, his nickname is Jet.
Dang.
Yeah. There you go.
We have 2 Jets on our roster.
Hmm?
2 guys with the nickname of Jet on the roster.
Well,
Who's
we
the
used
other?
to have a guy. Jared McKinnon was the Jet. Who you got this year?
3 Jets.
Maybe.
I know
Maybe
McKinnon
not.
was the Jet.
Maybe not. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, who's your 2?
I thought more outside of outside of Brown. Outside of that, I thought they called him a Jet too.
Oh no, he's Hollywood.
Well, I get the Hollywood
famous.
part, but I also thought. Never mind.
No, he's
maybe.
Hollywood.
My brain is mush. It doesn't work. So I've got Hardman at 5.
Okay.
So Hardman at 5.
That was a face.
Yeah. It was a cough. Hardman at 5. At my 6, I've got Tony. Kadarius
Okay.
Toney.
Katoni.
And I think a big reason for him is A, returns, and then B, also him kind of rotating in at some running back place, adding a Jerick McKinnon type role to his roster, to his arsenal, to the roster, I guess.
It could be
Sure,
his roster.
why not? His roster, sure. And then I've got Rashee Rice. Dear
Oh
God.
dang, he got
Whoa.
2 spots. That's
Whoa,
nice.
man. He's probably nicknamed
Rashee
Jet
Rice
2 in
is
his
so
mind, too.
good.
Yeah.
So good that he's getting another spot. No, Justin Ross.
Okay.
I've got Justin Ross at the
So you got more out the door.
6 or at the 7.
Practice
I'm
squad.
sorry,
Practice-
at the 7.
practice
That's
squad.
if we carry 7 receivers.
Okay.
I think it'll be a lot easier if we carry 6 receivers and then go maybe 4 tight ends, because then you don't have to make the decision between Sky Moore, Justin Ross, and Nico Remigio. But I mean, I like Ross over Sky Moore. I think the upside is better, and we need somebody like that size can go up and get the ball. We don't have a whole lot of that. I mean, we do have Jared Wiley now, but we're probably not sending Wiley deep down the field, down the sideline to go get a ball. You know what I mean? So I think that would benefit our receiver room to have a guy that size outside. Justin Watson's a decent sized guy, but he's usually kind of like our, kind of like Rice. Like they do the unders
They
and
work the insides.
across the middle, put him in the slot, but having Justin Ross be able to go get a ball on the sideline like he almost did in the preseason game, I think would benefit us a lot. So that's who my 7 are as of right now.
Alrighty.
Now this weekend's going to be huge.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
With how guys play. I think even Tony, I think there's a chance that it's funny. I put Tony at my my 6. But I mean, between Tony, Moore, Ross, and Remigio, I think it's kind of like a toss up between those guys. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, there we got it. Tight end. Since we're going back to the traditional fullback, I think we'll carry 3 tight ends, in my opinion.
No, Greg won't have to kind of play that role.
Yeah. With Kelsey, Wiley, and Gray, especially. I know we did sign a long snapper this week, just to kind of come into this preseason
just
game
until James Winchester's
but
good.
But
Well, James
Gray,
Winchester is on his last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. No, great. There we go. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I got Kelsey, Wiley, and Gray. Right tackle, I got Juwan Taylor. The backup, I have Lucas Niang, which Taylor was out this week in the preseason game, and Niang started, which I think for those that did watch, we were probably all like, Juwan Taylor, could you come back? I think Lucas Niang, he hasn't gotten it there, but he does have that because, he can play the left or right tackle. He has a little bit of that in his size over like a Hansen or Norzad, who I don't have making the roster here. But I think that's why Niang will make that backup spot. And then I got Trey Smith, right guard. I got Creed Humphrey as the center. Left guard, Tooney.
Yep.
Left tackle, I got Kingsley.
Yep.
So Caliendo, I have as a backup. He can play any of the insides.
Yep.
He
took snaps at center this week.
Yep. And in the first preseason game, he played some center.
Yep.
So I think I got Caliendo in that middle side, and then working the outsides is I got the backup Y.A. Morris. I think Kingsley has a spot, especially Y.A. Morris with this injury.
Yeah.
So
well, and dude, Kingsley gave Mahomes so much time.
Oh man,
against the Lions.
Yep. And there was I think wasn't it this week he had the play where, I think it was an outside run on the left side, and I think just leveled one of their guys.
Yeah.
On the block that was tremendous. So he is a great run blocker, and he's improving in pass blocking. So I think that's his spot. He's ready to play.
I agree.
So that's what rounds out the rest of the offense for me. Any changes you got there?
Nope. I mean, that's pretty much. I think C.J. Henson and Hunter Norzad have a chance if Niang just kind of flops. I think they have a chance to, or like say you got an injury to Wanye that's more serious than what we think it is, then one of those guys will come in. I think Norzad's probably the more likely of the two.
Yeah.
I think he got a little bit more snaps, just kind of rotating. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it Norzad played a lot of the different positions in college, right? So I think C.J. Henson did as well, but I think Norzad,
majority.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously it's kind of tough to call either preseason games you're playing against second, third string.
Oh yeah.
And
a lot of our first stringers even this game, the ones that did play, Detroit didn't play starters. So, they still can't really just see that full potential there. So
yeah.
But that's what I got there, rounding that off. So we're gonna go to the defensive side of things. Defense. Left DN, I got Karlaftis.
Yep.
And I got Herring as the backup behind him.
Okay.
Lefty tackle, I think Nadi is there. And then Pennell. I got Pennell backing him up. We know Pennell was huge in the postseason after Nadi went out with injury. So I got Pennell there. And a lot of these guys understand on the a lot of these guys can kind of play left or right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interchangeable there. Righty tackle, of course, we got Chris Jones.
Yep.
I got Turk Wharton. And then I got Farrell. Kind of rounding off I feel like 5 defensive tackles there.
Yep.
We could potentially be rolling.
Yep.
I think those have the ones that kind of have stood out.
We've
and a lot of them that have been here.
4 to 5 D tackles. We've generally run 5 D tackles, I think.
Yeah. So and all these guys are returning. So they just fit the defense well, and they know Coach Bags. The right DM, I got Dana, I got FAU
Yep.
and a Menahu.
Yep.
Now, because of Menahu's on the IR,
Right. That's the only reason.
there could be another name
Yeah.
that pops in there. Because with him being on IR, they're able to bump him up and then bump someone down.
Right.
But I got overall the 53-man roster there. You know,
Yeah.
who knows?
there's
They
still-
can after cuts, they can literally go see what shakes out. And this is another thing that, for me, well, I guess we'll come down to it for another position. But because of this whole thing, I think that they can wait out and kind of grab somebody in free agency.
Yeah.
Trying to get a veteran, somebody cheaper.
Somebody that's not signing somewhere.
Yeah, if who they have seen from camps and preseason games that just haven't panned out. Okay, let's we can go grab somebody from free agency as Charles Bennett, who looks to recover, just give us some depth.
Yep.
So that's what I got on
that also
the
wouldn't
defensive line.
That wouldn't force Menahu to rush back. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've seen videos of him working out and stuff. And
Yeah.
look good, but
And he's looking to get paid, so I
Yeah.
think he's going to be, hungry to just get healthy
Yeah.
and recover quicker and be ready to play.
yeah. And I mean, realistically, we want him healthy for the postseason.
Yeah.
We want him healthy late in the season and for the postseason. So if we got to take 4 or 5 weeks of the season to let him get healthy, take those 4 to 5 weeks, man.
Yeah.
Our defensive line is deep.
Yep.
Let's let our guys do what they do best. Maybe sign that cheap veteran that's looking to prove themselves again. And yeah,
Especially
I agree with
because
that.
honestly, sometimes watching FAU, like in this preseason game, I think he played like 50 snaps or something, and so on a few cases he looked a little lost.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's been some good things about him, and then some things that just like, has he backtracked? So
Yep.
again, I think that, but he'll make the roster. I got Tranquil's one of our linebackers.
Yep.
With Jacobs coming behind him.
Yep.
Especially and these 3 backup guys, which I have Jacobs, Cochran, and Christensen,
Yep.
are going to play huge on a lot of special teams.
Oh yeah.
A lot of special teams. Bolden. Now Cochran is that Mike Backer who has stepped in and played quite a bit, and we know Bolden is still recovering to be back, which he should. But Cochran, I think, solidifies, that probably the first guy who comes off the bench for the linebackers to come in when one needs a rest.
Yep.
So I got Tranquil, Bolton, and Chanel starting.
Yep.
I really like Chanel a lot, man. He's
Leo's
he's like a silent, sleeper.
He's smart.
Yes.
He is so smart. I mean, Drew Tranquil's had a good career
Yeah.
because of
I like Tranquil a lot, man.
His knowledge.
good. Yeah.
Right. And I think having Leo Chanel having Drew Tranquil to be able to teach him kind of the mental part of that game has been absolutely huge.
Yep. And Tranquil has been he's been just on fire. He's been more leading, kind of just more vocal and things. So he stepped into that role very well after obviously we lost our hype man Willie Gay.
Yep.
So yeah.
Do you think we lose Swag Surf this season?
Say that again.
You think we lose Swag Surf?
Probably.
Yeah. You think we're gonna lose
Probably,
Swag Surf?
probably a little bit.
Dang. He's gonna take that to New Orleans with him.
Yeah, Nolans. So that rounds off the linebackers for me, which again, those 3 backup guys, I think they're going to play obviously a lot of special teams time. And Cochran probably would get most of the snaps in the game at times.
Yeah.
Cornerback position. I got McDuffie, of course. McDuffie is our number 1. He's that lockdown corner.
Yep.
And what's been a little frustrating, and I know it's even been frustrating for Coach Spags, is that because of some of these injuries in our secondary, it's really hard to get the best look at who will get the second spot. And even defensively, I think he mentioned it. He said there hasn't been one even full practice rep, not just a walkthrough where like Reed and Bolton has been in and walked through, because even Tooney has been in some walkthroughs offensively, but he was like on the defensive side, Spags is like, there hasn't been one play where he's been able to see at least the main 11 to 12 guys, which that 12th guy probably coming from the cornerback position in the game, running a nickel. He's like, I haven't been able to run one play with Karlaftis, Noddy, Jones, Dana, Tranquil, Bolton, Chanel, Duffy, Reed, Cook, and that other cornerback. Whether Watson or Williams, he hasn't got one rep of that. So I think that's probably a little frustrating right now. But in my opinion, I think Jalen Watson, if he's like 100% full healthy, ready to go, I think Watson he gets the nod to start. I think he's there. And I got McDuffie and I got Watson starting on the corners, and then backing up I got Najee Johnson, who's been who again, some of these injuries, but man, I know he's making a tough run at that starting position, but just with him not having last year been able to play, I think that's why he'd be back up. And then Joshua Williams. Joshua Williams has shown some highlights, but he's kind of backtracked a little bit too. And I think he had a little tweak as well. So, I got them. And then Shamari Connor, for me, is our secondary switch army knife. Now, starting out for the safeties, I have Reed and Cook, obviously. But they got Deion Bush and Hicks, our rookie, coming, and those are our safeties, right? Connor, we did draft him as a safety, but I think he's going to be used a lot in the nickel. And I think that depending on who gets that second starting spot, I think Connor comes off the bench first a lot.
Yeah.
For that nickel.
Yep.
When we run the nickel package, I think it's him.
Well,
before
they have him listed as the nickel back online.
So I got Connor, and then I got Echo Boydo.
I've never said his name right.
Yeah. So I got Echo Boydo, who's obviously was with us, played some snaps last year. I think he'll round that off, and I feel like we'll run I guess technically 5 DBs with Connor. Kind of that. That safety and cornerback kind of there. Yep. So that's what I got for my secondary.
And then running just 7 of the oh my gosh. Or wait, so 5 corners.
Yeah, five
corners and 5 DB
safeties.
Safeties.
Which Connor kind of playing both of those roles.
So
what you got? You got anything different defensively there?
I don't. A little bit of disappointment for me was Kamal Haddon.
Oh yeah, same.
So,
I think he can be practice squad guy.
Yeah, he can definitely be practice squad. But I mean,
he just didn't fight for it.
Dealing with the injury,
yeah.
like it's. I mean, he said he felt like he was back, but I mean, missing time in June, July, like that's huge.
Especially because a lot of these guys that we talked about, honestly, our defensive line, all returning players, right? Yep. Our linebackers, all returning players, except for I think Curtis Jacobs. Jacobs played a lot of practice squad, and Christian as well last year because we had Willie Gay. So, but they're returning players, right? Mm-hmm. And then our secondary, everybody's returning. Within the cornerbacks and safety roles, right?
Yep.
And even the backups. So that was very crucial in that July, and August because you're going to play a lot of preseason games because they need to see you play.
Yeah.
Like Kamal Haddon just couldn't get himself on the field.
I mean, the only rookie we got there is Jaden Hicks.
Yep.
So I mean, it was realistically, I think it was going to be a fight between Hicks and Haddon.
Yep.
For a spot to be on the active roster, and who was going to be practice squad. But I mean, just because practice squad doesn't mean you can't come out of it. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. So, but yeah, again, it's really great in our defensive. Literally, all of those guys who I named are returning. Yep. I guess we'll see how it shakes out. But a lot of those guys are returning. We just need to get healthy. We need to get them all on the field at once as far as our starters ready to roll.
Right. I mean, the biggest question would be Najee Johnson and Josh Williams right now.
Yep. I mean, I think everybody's going to be waiting to see when that roster come out. Who gets the nod for Baltimore week 1 start at that other cornerback position?
Which, I mean, that's. We have to have everybody healthy.
Yep.
Trying to stop Senor Derrick Henry
Yep, King Henry.
I mean, they
And
got
Jackson.
some good receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it's gonna be a good big game.
Yep.
So we
We'll
need
have to
those.
be sharp.
Yeah, we need those guys out healthy.
I agree.
Um,
Top to bottom, I told you when
I
we
think it's
came
pretty-
in this morning.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty straightforward defensively.
I do too.
Who's going to be our starters?
I do too.
I don't think there's really any questions.
And who knows? If one of these guys that we do have here is an injury is a little lingering. Sorry, we know that Reed. Hopefully he's a game one, but if he doesn't, and you got Hicks and you need Connor Moore in that safety role,
Yep.
I think that there's a potential again another position that you can go and look to try to maybe grab a veteran player. Now Gilmore is off of the free agency. So I think he was probably like that guy who you can grab first.
Yeah.
So we'll just be looking to see who got cut. Just Simmons, he just got signed for what 1 year, $8 million deal. So yeah, they're some of those players that would have been nice, but obviously we can't spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
So another position group that we can kind of see maybe we grab a veteran guy just to come and help out, just in case Reed isn't ready to go week one. And then round off special teams, we got Bucker,
Yep.
Ariza,
Pretty straightforward.
yeah, and Winchester.
Yep.
And then these guys are already – I have them already rostered, so there's no – I did have a little something here as like a little suspenseful part where I had Nico as one of the kick returners, but not necessarily – in the whole overall as far as receiver,
Right.
which would have then ran us 8 receivers, and I just don't think that would be likely. So I was like, I thought about it last night, and this morning I was like, I'm just going to remove him. And so I got punt return. I got the starter being Hardman, and then I actually have, even though we haven't seen the reps, I think I got Worthy as that guy. And then if you had to throw a third slot, I think Sky Moore. At least on my roster, I know Justin's roster will be different here, so we'll hear his take because Moore isn't making his roster. And then kick return, I got Hardman as well, and I got Prince. I got those guys. We're lining up dual back there, and I got Hardman and Prince rounding that off, and then I got Moore as that third guy to for one of them. So that's kind of my punt return, kick return.
Okay.
And then obviously we know that. That's what I got.
So my potential is kind of like your Nico pick there. If I agree with the place kicker, punter, long snapper. Although long snapper is interesting because Winchester is on a 1-year deal, and we do have what is his name? It's
Oh, you're talking about the guy we just picked up?
Guy we just picked up. Randon Plattner,
Yeah.
a former K-State guy. He's a Missouri native. He was an undrafted free agent signed to Baltimore, who was released on August 11th. He was a highly rated long snapper in college. So long snapper is a really tough position to get in the NFL with.
It is.
Because these guys have a position where they only do that.
Yep.
And they do it for a long time.
Right.
Right. So you could maybe only have like 40 to 50 guys over the span of like 10, 15 years.
Sure.
That position in total.
Yep.
In the NFL. Right. Randon Plattner, depending on how he does in this last preseason game, could kind of dictate whether we might look at him after the season.
That's true.
Excuse me, dear God. So we have a little bit of a position open there, and we'll see what the Chiefs kind of look at doing. Definitely don't want to keep using Noah Gray for that. We need him for other things. He did great in the game last week, but
in the big moments we can't have a high snap on kickoff when Bucker needs a 50-something yard field goal. Kick. The ball got to be there to last seconds of the game or that last possession that we got there before defense takes over. We can't have that ball. It got to be on the money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
it's got to be perfect. So that's a little interesting there. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the season. If this Winchester shoulder thing becomes a bigger deal, might be something where we sign this kid full time.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
keep an eye on that. So my primary punt returner, kick returner is McCole Hardman as well. Deneric Prince, kick returner with Worthy being the backup punt returner. Worthy was a really good punt returner in college, so I really think it's a good idea to use him there. And then I actually have Carson Steele being one of the 2 kick returners in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
So Prince and Steele would kind of rotate there. My one thing would be if we only carry 6 wide receivers, I think LRZ this week might have a chance of making the roster. Because he did have kickoffs last week. He did do some of those kickoffs. They tested him at that, see how he would do. And they didn't look terrible, man. Like the week prior when he did it, he didn't get much past the 10-yard line. This week, they looked a little bit better. So that could be something we look into, having him be a returner primarily, and then also use him as a kicker if necessary. But, I mean, that's a long shot for the guy. He's really got to develop in the understanding of other areas where he can contribute more to the team. Having outside of the place kicker, the punter, and the long snapper, outside of those 3, you really have to have guys that contribute in other areas of the game as well.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
while a lot of teams have safeties and linebackers and stuff, or receivers that they carry on the team that are strictly special teams or returners, the Chiefs use everybody.
Yeah, they do.
Everybody gets snaps, right? And even if it's for 1 or 2 snaps to relieve a guy, we got to trust that you can come in for those 1 or 2 snaps and relieve the guy you're relieving, you know? So while other teams are trying to figure out who's going to start, we're trying to figure out who's going to finish, right?
Yep.
We got to finish or figure out the back end because we want that depth for the postseason. Depth played a huge role in our defense last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We dealt with some injuries. Nick Bolton being out gave Drew Tranquil the confidence to come in and play and sign that contract this offseason.
Yep. Huge.
When Chris Jones was out week 1, our other guys stepped up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've got depth at the line. We've got depth at linebacker. We've got depth in realistically, we might have one of the youngest secondaries in the league, but I truly think we have the best overall secondary in the league. Maybe close is, the Saints secondary is looking pretty good right now. But I do think we have the best secondary in the league right now. Like you said, all the guys are returning Super Bowl champions minus Jaden Hicks.
Right.
So, but Jaden Hicks is a dog in his own right.
Yep.
So
he's playing well.
I'm ready for the season to just kind of get rolling. But yeah, I don't have Sky Moore on my roster, so he's not going to be a returner. Now, if he does make it over Justin Ross, or if we're all surprised and Kadarius Toney doesn't make it, which Kadarius Toney could also be a good idea on returns.
And see, on my roster, that's why I had Moore, is because Justin Ross they've never utilized in special teams,
right?
And so with the dynamic of special teams this year, that's why I kind of picked Moore. But Toney is another punt returner that can be utilized, for sure, man.
Yep.
So
yeah, if you want to keep Worthy off punt returns and keep him healthy, 100%.
He is just a little feller, man.
He is just. He's a little guy.
Yeah.
It's funny. We call Worthy a little guy. He's 5'11", bro.
Yeah. I think Brown is about the same size, but I don't know, his physique just looks a little different to where you don't think about it. You know what I'm saying?
So Tyreek, it's funny. We always call Tyreek a little feller, and they've got him listed 5'10" online. Well, I did see an interview where he's like, I'm 5'8", 5'7", But online, they got him listed at 5'10". I would just need to stand next to him to know.
Yeah, that's it.
I just need to stand next to him. That's all it is. So, but having those guys be returners when you're that high priority in our offense, and then being a smaller guy and potentially taking those hits, we just don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
We don't want to risk it. So, but yeah, that's what I got. That's what you got. Those are our that's our rosters.
Yeah.
realistically, we only have like 2 players different.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think. So
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see
It'll be very
how
interesting.
things what it comes down to. But yeah, tomorrow night we got the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears.
The
We get to
Bears.
see Caleb Williams. I think
Maybe.
Mahomes, maybe. I think Mahomes rests. I think Kelsey rests.
Yeah, I think most of our starters.
Most of our starters are probably going to rest. We're going to really use that game to look at our depth. You know. So, definitely with I think we rest guys like Trent McDuffie and Justin Reed. We got to keep our defensive backs healthy because a lot of them dealing with those hamstrings. Man, we can't be having that. So. Yeah, same thing with defensive line, linebackers. I'd be surprised if I saw Drew Tranquil suiting up. I'd be surprised if I saw, Karlaftis and Jones suiting up. I think the other guys still could potentially be fighting for, starting spots. But, who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the mishap with Hollywood Brown. Absolutely. Anything can happen, and the next guy's got to be ready.
That's true.
So
it's true, man.
All right. Well, so that's all we got. Next week, we get to talk about the roster.
Yes.
We get to talk about the roster. We'll know the roster. We get to talk about our thoughts, our opinions on that, and then prepping for week 1.
Week 1
against the Ravens at home.
Yep.
So, I haven't said it, I don't think, this episode, but I'm stoked.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm stoked.
I'm so stoked, still can't stoke you.
I don't.
Yep.
Are you from Spokane, Washington?
Yep.
No, is that bad? I was born in Washington, but not Spokane. Spokane.
I like smoked ham.
Smoked ham is pretty good.
Yeah.
What? Why? So we can, man.
Mm-hmm.
Beginnings and ends are always weird. Beginning of today was so good. The end, we got on
Still
smoked
good.
hammed. I mean, it is still good.
Anyway,
You're not
smoked
lying.
ham.
Smoked ham is good. You're not lying. So, but yeah, I don't really have anything else this week. We are still going to try. I haven't been able to do it with preseason games because of blackouts and stuff like that. But during the season, at some point, we do want to try to keep an eye out on like doing our live reaction to the game. That would be something fun. Maybe we don't do it every game. Maybe we do it for some games we can just all get together for. Keep it like those special events. And then also we will be live streaming a fantasy football draft. We're each in a couple fantasy football drafts or fantasy football leagues. So we're going to try to do one of the 2 that I think all 3 of us are in, or at least 2 of us are in. So yeah, we'll keep posted on that. We'll try to post it on socials, and then we'll update you next week. It's looking like a draft we will do might be on the 1st of September. So that's Sunday, somewhere between 5 and 8 p.m. is what the guess is. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Deontay, you got anything else, man?
No, man, that's all I got. Just preseason game tomorrow, and then we'll be all watching to see who makes the 53-man roster.
Yes.
So, yep.
Josiah?
I'm good. Great job. Good episode.
Real good. Enjoyed it.
He's so talkative. He's so talkative outside.
I mean, the only other thing I can say is that you put a Gray in at long snapper, and then you put Justin Reed as punter, and then I get all the money from the guys you cut.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, that's a good suggestion, right?
You say Justin Reed a punter or kicker?
Either one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him punt.
I thought he punted whenever he was in, but maybe he only kicked.
Kicked.
Maybe he only kicked.
Yeah. I haven't seen him punt. I bet you he could.
I can punt.
Can you?
Yes. It just depends on how. Hey,
how far do you want it?
Speaking of punts,
Fox?
Ariza
man,
had
260.
2 60-yard punts. It's a lot better than last week.
I will say a guy that's going to be getting tested this week is Fox for the Lions. He had a 71-yard, 5.5-second bomb.
That's crazy.
In that game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he'll be tested like today or tomorrow. Yeah. Somebody's getting drug tested. That's an easy way to get drug tested. You put a 5.5-second bomb, 71 yards in the air, go from your 11-yard line. Technically, it's more than 71 yards in the air, but it went from his own 11-yard line to our 4. That's
crazy.
insane.
That's crazy.
They talk about flipping the field. Anyways, well, that's all we got for you this week. So I guess until next week, guys, thy kingdom come.